Hey everybody, welcome to Feed My Sheep Earthquake Reports. I'm Esther and I'm going to start off the day by saying we have had an incredible amount of activity within the last 24 to 36 hours, and we're racing like mad to keep up with it, to keep you informed correctly and what you need to expect and what you need to do. So I'm going to cover the what you need to be doing and should have done on this portion. Alrighty? And then Terry's going to come on and give you the lowdown and the seismograms, and it's just been wild. Alrighty? So now I'm going to start off by saying we've been working on this for 5 years or so, and we've been giving warning for 5 years, and now we are closer to a big continental megathrust than we have ever been. And not just Cascadia, it's grown from the Cascadia all the way up and down from Alaska, which is a very far north end of the coastal and/or Cascadia range, all the way down into Mexico. So you can see how much it has moved. And if you're keeping up on your earthquake activity around the world from your different apps, you're going to see that there is a lot of stuff going from Japan all the way over and down and around, and it's crazy. So let's get started. 5 years of warning, I've told you. And now there are things that you should have been doing. You know, if you're low budget or high budget, we always do what we can, correct? And so there's things that you should have been doing. And now the things that you really need to consider. And I'm going to say this and deviate here a little bit because we had a 3.5 off of Seashell just a couple of weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks now, Terry?
Yeah.
And it was a 3.5 to 3.9. I can't remember specifically, but we were in the ferry coming across to where we go, and no warning. There was no toppy waves on the harbor or anything, but the big old ferry that we were on started rolling. It was like it was on jello, just a big piece of jello. There was no waves breaking, nothing. It was just big rolling, and this went on for a full 10 minutes. And we checked with our friend at our place, and her big 42-foot fifth wheel was rocking and making big banging sounds. Now she's anchored down to the ground, and she's on jacks that automatically compensate for earth movement, but she noticed it very much so. And we checked with other people, and they had all felt stuff in their area just from this 3.5 to 3.9 off of Seashell over towards Vancouver Island and down. It came across and it made that much of an effect. We've had steam coming off of Mount Benson, and it looks like there might be, from what we've been hearing, some other places that are putting off bits of steam here and there. So we are definitely, the north end of the Cascadia has definitely engaged. So we need everybody, Canada and the U.S., to pay attention, because what goes from one area goes down or up to the other. Now, 5 years of warning of, come on people, get ready, be prepared, have your escape routes ready, have your house as ready as you can be. And at some point here, I think in the last year or so, we kind of said, those escape routes may not be so reliable because of the way the volcanoes have been reactivating. So you also need to seriously look at, if you're not in a coastal zone where you're worried about tsunami, you need to look at sheltering in place, as they say. In other words, being aware of your surroundings, work on your home or your apartment as you can, and there are things that you can do for this. Now, one of this is hurricane ties. Now, those are ties that you use up in the trusses in your attic. It helps keep the trusses connected to the walls. And you need that stability, because if those trusses come loose, the rest of your house comes loose, and it comes down around your ears. So if you have a partner, a husband, a friend who can get up into the attic with those hurricane ties and get those trusses joined up to the walls with those hurricane trusses, that is going to be very good for the outcome of your dwelling. All right? That can mean either you've got a house that you can stay in, or you don't have a house at all. It makes that big of a difference. Heck, we've even put it on a chicken coop. So this is how serious we are about this. So The other thing you need to consider doing, no, not consider, you need to do, and this is outside storage, outside of your house, on your property. Now, we've talked about building a storage, like an 8 by 10 or a 10 by 10, 10 by 12, something like that, where you can store your food that you should be preparing, your medicines, some of your financials, cash on hand, or silver, constitutional coins, anything like that you can use to trade and barter with, because systems will be down. Your 5G towers, they'll go down. You won't have internet access. You won't have online access to do your banking. So you have to have cash or silver on hand to be able to trade with, buy, or barter. So your outside storage. Now, what we're recommending, again, if you've got a shed already that's good and sturdy, add some insulation to it so that you can put yourself, your pets, your family on cots inside that building and have food and medicines around you safely, earthquake proofing, so that you have an extra place to stay in case, you're in an area where it gets hit with a big hard earthquake, a big hard shaker. Another option, and it's probably, from what we're experiencing, it'd be easier and cheaper to get a really good used travel trailer. Have it delivered to your place if you don't have a vehicle to tow it, or have it delivered to a place nearby that you can keep it parked, keep it secure. You put all your things in there that you need, and then you have a place to go if your house is unsafe. Whether it's in a trailer park or a camping area or a storage place that you can get to, this is a good thing to have as well. And again, probably cheaper than building a storage space a heck of a lot faster, right? So consider doing that. Now, yes, and your trailers, like I demonstrated with our friends, big 42 foot with the jacks on it, kept it very, very stable during all of this rocking that was going on. And because we also tied it down for her, anchored it to the ground and to the rock below where we live, there's a lot of rock, it's going nowhere. So that's a good thing. So with a smaller trailer, you can anchor it down. You can have it on blocks to keep it from moving anywhere. Talk with your local RV dealer and see what they say to keep it secure. So that's a good way to go. You're going to have weeks and weeks and weeks worth of food and medicines and clothing and anything else that you can put in there for you and your family and your pets. And that is perfect for what you need. All right. So, also, it's winter time. Put your winter stuff in there now. Okay. Because again, we don't know what's going to happen. Everything could just pop off in a year, maybe two, but it's not going to be any much longer than that, I don't think. Terry may have some more insight on that, but that's just me and my gut feeling on that. So I want everybody to be safe and prepared. So have winter clothing in there for you, for the kids, grandkids, pets, ducks, chickens, whatever you have going on. You also need a heater, because more than likely you're not going to be able to plug in and get electricity anywhere. If you got solar panels that work, great. If not, a buddy heater. It works in enclosed areas, even though they don't advertise it that way. You always keep a window open. You have extra propane bottles, small ones that you can use for heating. Your trailer, make sure it's one that you can cook in and that you've got propane attached to your trailer. Always keep it turned off and locked down so that nobody can steal it, take off with it, or try to pull the propane out of it. Okay? Do those types of things. These are big items that you should have been working on, and we hope you have been, as much as you can within your budget. Be inventive. Absolutely be inventive. Go find used things. You don't have to buy brand new to be effective in your preps or for your buildings or anything else. And Terry's just written something here. Oh, yeah. On Amazon, there is a great solar lamp we discovered. And it's just a small panel. And even up here where we are, where you don't have a lot of sunshine during the day, it gathers enough ambient light. And, you know, the panels are only literally this big. And it's 2 panels. And you can set the light to 3 different settings. It's got the panel, it's got the little power bank on it. You can set the light to 3 different settings where it only goes on, you know, from dusk to daylight or daylight hours, and you can make it dim, you can make it bright. And that is a fantastic thing to have, whether it's inside your trailer with the wire sticking out and your little solar panel on top, or whatever you need to do. So consider looking at that, and it's really, really inexpensive. And it's, you know, it was what, $30 up here, I think, or less than that. So it's going to be way cheaper in the States. And if your life isn't worth $19, and you feel that way about it, I'd rethink it, because you're worth way, way more to everybody and to us than what you think and imagine that you are. So please consider doing all of that stuff. Have your financials in order, money that you can trade and barter with. Collect it. Go to a silver shop. Collect coins. Those are the easiest denominations to work in, because they have a value, and you can learn the set value, and you can actually keep yourself a little cheat sheet card. You know, laminate that little sucker, because that's what I have to do. And that way you've got little bits of coin that you can use to pay for items that you're going to need or to barter with. If you have a big old round silver eagle or a maple leaf or whatever else, that's going to get you stuck, and people are going to say, oh, sorry, I don't have any change for that, and you're going to lose a lot of money. So your best way to go is to get small, they call it constitutional coins, because of the silver content in it. Way before 67, and down in the States, it might be 1965. Anyway, go to your silver people. They'll know all about it. Alrighty?
64 and older.
64 and older. There we go. So these are the tips we're giving you right now. We've got some major, major activity that's concerning, and we want you guys to hurry up. Yeah, hurry up. Or if you fell asleep, wake up, get started on it again, and get it done. Give yourself a short window of time to get it done, and then stick to it and do it, all right? So I'm going to go for now. Enough chatting. Terry's going to come on in another show, and I really want you to stick with what he's telling you. A lot of times we have people start cutting off at the 3 to 5 minute mark, and you're missing a lot of pertinent information that you need. And especially with this one, don't let your attention span go. You have got to see this and hear what's going on, because we're talking a continental megathrust event, not just a Cascadia. It's grown from there. Alrighty? So God bless every one of you, and you be safe, and you prepare like your life depends on it, because it does. And we'll see you on the flip side soon. Bye for now.